Welcome to Hot Seat at Track and Field. It's me, him, Trent, Lauderdale, and our coach, Coach Johnson. So today, we are here to ask you questions. First question being, season is starting this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Let me word this correctly and not sound too crazy. How do you plan to approach this week going into the meet?
Oh, like I approach every meet. It's funny. I've never lost the competitiveness inside me that my approach to this week for you guys is any different than when I competed. I'm in my prep stage and making sure everything is done, the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. I was just in the office working on travel plans because they have changed with the schedule. I'm finally excited because I get to see the men's team get action outdoors, but I'm excited for outdoor track, period, for the men and the women. So we had a very successful campaign indoors for the women. I want to see that energy carried to outdoors, but just to get everybody going finally, I'm excited about it to see what's going to happen.
Okay. Do you have any expectations for the men's team coming into the season?
Oh, absolutely. I got a lot of expectation. I think we all said in the beginning, we set a standard, and we kind of revisited that a little bit last night after practice when we went back to that circle. And I said, hey, remember when we were here in the fall and we attested to some things, and let's see what comes to fruition from that. We have goals, and they're high goals, and I want them to be high. It's work ethic and practice is showing that you guys want them to be high. So, yeah, the expectations, first and foremost, is to go out there and compete. And then look at the groundwork that we laid and see if we're right in the right area to, the right spot for us to keep progressively going forward. We always got to go back to the lab. So are we going back to the lab with positive things, or are we going back to the lab with some negative things? Now, those negative things that we go back to the lab with, those are things we got to address immediately. We want problems. We don't want issues. Problems we're going to solve, issues we got to work on. And you're always going to have both. Well, I hope we have just more problems than issues just to get through some little things. We know where we're at in training. It might be a heavy load period or whatever else. And then when we get done with that, let's keep moving forward.
Okay.
I thought y'all said it's going to be hard. What's going on?
If you had $1,
Okay.
if you had $1 for every single time you said, run the curve,
Yes,
how rich would you be, though?
Oh, I would be rich. I would be real rich. I think I got a lot of things that I could be rich off of you guys, just period. But just encouraging you guys just to constantly think about every step is a competition step. That's what it is. Every step you take in track and field is a competition step. You don't have an opportunity or a second to not use to your benefit. So it's like, don't fall asleep in a race. I mean, that's what it is. Run a curve, sprint a curve. Don't fall asleep in your race. You got to do something when you get off of it. So if you didn't set yourself up for it to come off of it, something precludes to the next thing and the next thing. So it's more of us always having a growth mindset no matter what it is. If it's running a curve of a 200 or even in practice or whatever we're doing, it's setting us up for something else. That's the growth mindset we're going to have in every aspect of our training and our lives. That's what we need to have, because as soon as we said this a lot this year. I don't surprise y'all didn't say this to me. When we comfortable, we need to be uncomfortable. We got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how life going to be. So I'm not going to take that off in practice. Let's go after it, right?
Yes, sir.
That's it, right? Yeah, that's what I'm like. Okay, come on. Give me something.
I know preparing for a meet, scheduling practices can be pretty tough.
Absolutely.
How can you go day by day on how you set up practices for your athletes and how that could benefit them without being too dead at a meet?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's whereas I always look at it as a organic thing, practice, meaning that it can change. In any perspective. Me walking across campus to get to this building, what's the weather like? Is it going to be like this during practice time? Is it going to be warmer? It's going to get colder. What does the clouds look like? How did everybody look yesterday in the weight room? How did everybody look yesterday when we went out to the track? All those things, although I have a blueprint set up that I give you guys weekly to have an idea what we're going to do, all those things come into play for me to decide what we actually going to do when we get in practice. So all the way up until practice and actually in practice, I'm still evaluating what we're going to do. Most of the time, I say 9.9 times out of 10, before we step out of practice, I review the session we're going to have and say, does this fit with how they're feeling, their attitudes going into it, what we already had done the previous days, what is the weather going to give us to get this done so we can get an advantage out of this, mentally and physically. Those things, they always are in play, no matter if it's the first interval of practice or the last interval of practice. You guys have seen it many times. I've seen the work that we put in practice in some intervals, and I say, I'm like, hey, how many more we got? You guys say, we got 2 more. I'm saying, all right, no, you got 1 more. Or it might be like, okay, we got 2 more. Let's keep moving through. It's all to work within, keep confidence levels high, and just depending on what we've done, I know that we put the work in and we're going to see some positive results from it.
So going into this meet, I know everybody isn't involved in all 4 of their events.
Right.
But you have everybody specified by their primary events going into it, which is
part,
one
yes.
of the 2
Yep.
or 2 of the 2.
Yep.
This 4x4 though, going into a first meet,
Yes.
who you think is going to come out with a faster split?
Man, you're going to put me on the spot. Okay, you're going to put me on the spot. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I am. I try to meticulously put people in areas that they aren't comfortable with, but they still have to respond. I'm like, I don't know. This meet actually is going to be a big meet, so I'm curious what other schools are going to have. But for us, I just want to see us in the race, in the hunt. No matter, these are A, B, C teams that you could say on paper, but they're really AAA teams for me. I'm just going to evaluate what we have and see what people can put out there in splits. You two should have some decent splits. I would love to. I know what I would love to see, but I don't know if I'm going to see it. I mean, I would love to see sub 48 splits. That would be nice. Yeah, but if but right now where we're at, if I get some 48 splits, sub 49 splits, I'm happy. Progressively, if I get a majority of those on the team, I'm really happy, because that lets me know that we're going in the right direction to break the school record. So in some aspects though, it just also depends. If people get on islands by themselves, they got to reevaluate it differently. Like, how do they attack on an island by themselves? Can they stay in the game although there's nobody around them? Either they're 20 meters ahead or 20 meters behind. Or farther. How they do that, how they respond to those things, and then make adjustments from there the next time. I don't plan on. I would hope to put together a more solidified A squad, so to speak, by the Kim Dice meet, but I don't have to. I don't have to. I just want to see progression and see where we're at. And this is the pre-championship part of our season, the post-championship part, which I consider April going into May. Then the teams will be more solidified what we're going to do. So,
You got a little media training there.
yeah.
Walked around the answer.
Of course. I'm happy with everybody on the team and their progress, but I got, I have some new bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
I got a lot of new people around that we haven't seen how they fire yet, and how they respond. So it's like I gotta, see what they look like in competition and go from there. But when I'm talking about my old heads, my reliables, hey, I'm like, I want to see where y'all at too. The season, this season's going to be a long one, but it's going to be very quick. It's going to go like this. But to manage you guys and to make sure that you guys are responsible when it's time, I'm curious about that too. Where are they at in their training and their competitive mindset, and is it going to be productive going forward, or do we got to have some talks or conversations about how we compete, and did we mature more from last year to this year? I guess that's one expectation I have above all, for everybody that has been with me, is how did you mature? Because if we're in the same place as we were last year, I didn't do my job of teaching you nothing, or you didn't do your job of listening, or I didn't do my job of listening. Something happened that we didn't work together for us to be in a mature place right now, and that would bug me more than anything. Because I'm like, I say this all the time. I don't like people to fail. I don't like to let people down. I don't like people to fail. I want us to be successful in all aspects of our lives, and we have to mature to be ready to do that. So what we're going to take on.
So one of the biggest laws in our program is wearing joggers no matter the weather. Even if it's 100-something degrees,
Yes,
no matter the weather, we're always in joggers.
Yes, sir.
Can you go over the philosophy behind that?
Trust me, it's not one of those things that I say, I did it, so you got to do it. It's not that. It's more so acclimation for your body. You got to acclimate. You got to keep your core warm. It's one of those things that it ensures me as a coach, when you're warming up, you're giving yourself the best opportunity to be productive in that session or in that meet. If I see an athlete come to a meet or to a session in flip-flops and beach shorts, and they're like, okay, it's time to warm up, it doesn't set a mindset to me or precedence that they're going to be fully ready to go. Their body, we got to keep our muscles compressed and warm to where they can get saturated, where your system says the blood flow needs to be here because we're about to do something responsive with that. And if we're not doing those things to prepare that, are we giving ourselves the best opportunity to be successful? That's the thing. Like it's crazy, but people come on track teams or in other sports programs, and they have a mindset of, this person is trying to make me unsuccessful, and I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand where me making a rule or mandating that you wear sweats, on an 80-degree day just to get through your warm-up. After your warm-up's over, you can take them off. But it's like to make sure that you're successful. Me saying these are the workouts that's going to help you be successful, and the mindset of a person is to fight that, that's somebody that I don't think the program is going to go forward with, because it's like you're fighting against what the program has dictated is going to be a standard for us to be successful. And it's like you gotta go somewhere where they say, hey, come to our program. You can wear shorts all you want, no matter if it's cold out or hot out, whatever. Hey, if you respond well to that, fine. That works for you. 9 times out of 10 for me, from what I've seen in my career and what I've experienced, I mean, I've been to some meets, world championship meets, and it's been way hotter than I've seen out here. And the littlest 5K'er is fully how I am right now, warming up. And they're about to run, something like, whatever it is, laps they got to do. So it's just the mindset of it. It's a discipline to it. I say it all the time, track's a discipline. And the, watching the disciplines overall, from high school level all the way up to the pro level, which I think everybody would like to be a part of. You see what people have decided to discipline themselves to have the success they have. There are some basic things that they all do the same, and this is one of them. Simple enough.
Okay. So the progress you see in us.
Yep.
Do you feel like you're just projecting?
Projecting?
Yeah.
Because
you think that's what you would do in our predicament, or do you feel like that's just you could just see it in us?
No, it's more of what you can do with you. The worst mistake I could make is try to compare you guys to me. And that's something that I try not to do. My training, my experiences is totally different than you guys. Now there are some similarities, of course, but to me to step into practice as a coach and project myself or what I did as an athlete, you need to do it as an athlete. Nah, that doesn't work well. I got to figure out, like, what makes him work, what makes Trent work. There is, like I say, there's going to be things that's going to be together with that, even myself, but more so, it's like when I'm looking at you guys' abilities, it's based off of what you have shown and what I've seen, the attributes you've shown. I'm like, oh, okay, this is something we can build on, and we can work with to see if we can get the most out of that. But it's not nothing. I'm never. I guess I say never. Something. I just don't. I don't necessarily try to base anybody's training off of what I've done or attitude off of who I was as an athlete. I like to talk about it. I mean, for me, Lord willing, I'll be a double nickel in March, and that was over 30-something years ago for me as an athlete. But it feels like yesterday. So me being the oldest old head, I like to talk. I like to talk about those times. I talk about it with my teammates sometimes, but I like to talk about it with you guys. Like it's like, whoa, something we did in practice. I remember going through something similar that clicked something in my head. It's weird. It's a blessing, what I get to do and what I get to see. But I get to live in my world that I've been in, since I was, I think that's 14, in the sense of running track. So, yeah, of course I'm gonna have those times. I'm like, man, I remember that. Man, I feel like this. Like he seemed like he handled it different, but project on you guys like, oh, so I did it. You need to do it. No, I wouldn't. That's not me. No.
So you running the sport, how do you think that's impacted the way that you've been coaching over the past couple of years by having that knowledge of being in our shoes, being a student athlete in college, and having to deal with a lot of the complications that we deal with?
I hope I matured. I think I have. I actually know I have. I think my first year of coaching, which your rookie year of coaching, is a growth time. And you think you could have people do what you did, and all of a sudden you find out you can't. You got to change some stuff up or figure it out. And I went through that period myself. But where I'm at now in coaching is one thing I understand. There's more of me leaving and more of you guys coming. And I think in life you need to understand that. Like, how do you connect with the younger generations? How do you respond to the changes of the world around you? And that's a challenge for everybody. But it has to be a communicative thing to whereas you have to be open to change as well. So I try to stay that way. I know, like I say, there's things that I guess I'm stubborn in that, I'm like, this is training for track. This is what we have to do. But I'm like, I kind of try to look at what the youth of the day are looking for in success. And some things I don't like. I got to be honest with you. I don't like. And I'm like, it's something that, because you guys had the world of social media, I didn't have that world. So student athletes now, they can just go to something instamatic and see somebody having success. And in their mind, although they might not think about it subliminally, they're like, it's that easy for that success. But you don't see what people go through for that success. Or what lie did they tell on that social media that's not true and it's really not success? Like, I mean, I can get on social media right now, pour a jug of water over my head, and I put up there, I just worked out so hard, and everybody's like, wow, is it? So it's a different thing. What motivates you is different now. What truly motivates an athlete. And I think in track and field, what I like is the purity of the sport that men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So you got to put in the work to get something out of it, period. And it tests you and lets you see your results right then and there. You can't depend on somebody, swinging around the corner and throwing you a pass or, making up for your mistake. You make your mistakes, you live with your mistakes right then and there. That's it. So I appreciate that about the sport.
There's only one right answer to this question.
One right answer to everybody. One right answer.
And it's out of me and him.
Whoa.
Fly out 300.
Whoa.
Fly out 300. We
Wow.
all have, we feeling good, fresh, easy.
Fresh, easy.
No aching pain,
aching
no soreness,
pain,
no my hammy.
Okay.
Who got that?
All out 300.
From what you've seen training
What I seen training wise. You know what? That would be a good race. I can try to predict the time. It could be sub 34. like maybe if we maybe 33.8, but probably it would probably be the 34. So I'm gonna say 34.4 to 34.5 would be the time. I would say that. If everybody's fresh, healthy, it's right there. But I can't say who's gonna cross the line because it'll look like that.
That man got some media training
I
on him.
know. So you say it's tie?
I ain't saying it's a tie. I'm saying it look like that. I don't got AccuTrack set up there. I got Coach J Track. I'll be like, okay, that's it. So, yeah, I wonder. I mean, y'all got different attributes. I mean,
Yeah, we
the
are
strength things,
opposite.
but coming off the curve at the end there, I would say 34 sub 34.5 probably would be around what I would guess. But yeah, I couldn't call it the line. No.
You just wanted to know the answer.
Yeah.
The point is to
Have
literally
confidence
have
in
him
yourself.
sweating underneath the
Hey,
camera,
y'all
though.
can't have me sweating under no camera, man. I'm too
Realistically,
cool
though,
for
I
that.
got it.
Yeah.
Realistically,
he don't.
though, I got it.
Realistically, he don't.
Yeah, realistically, I got it.
That's another show for y'all to.
Out
Y'all
the
got
blocks,
people-
he looking at the back of my heels. That's
There you
it.
go. Yeah.
Coming off the curve, he, hey, monkey on my back. Monkey on my back, coach.
Nah, ain't no monkey on my back.
Yeah. So.
That's why you go here.
Maybe in the open fold, probably you got that one.
All right.
I don't know if it's probably, it's definite.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think y'all both are two good student athletes that can do great things for the program, and your legacy gotta be left here. And how you want to leave your legacy individually and as a team, y'all both have a great opportunity to do it. So I like I said, I'm happy with what I've seen from the whole squad, indoors for the women, and what and specifically out of our group, Mila, only second woman in school history to run under 57 seconds in the 400. Going 56.9, and definitely if she had some more opportunities, I think it would have been faster. Rihanna, breaking the school record 3 times and running all 4 meets under 8 seconds in the 60, plus being the only woman to run under 25 seconds in the 200, which, another one, if she had enough time, that would be 23 easily, I think. And what I've seen from them, even though I'm saying it's easy, it's not, but they have made it look so easy to do these things when they did it. I mean, and trust me, I've been there with them before, during, and after, and it hasn't been easy. But the way they have executed, it just seems so easy. They just was like, on days that they did not feel well, they ran their best. And it was like, wow. So, I think that's just to add to the mentality of how we train and how you guys encourage each other and keep each other uplifted. And I just want to see more of it. That's it. So that's the goal. I thought this was going to be tough, y'all.
You have some very good media training.
You really do. You dancing around the answers.
I watch what's that, First Take, every morning. So Stephen A. Smith, that's my guy right there. I guess I learned a couple things. I don't know, a couple other people. So, yeah.
Would you say, do you agree with this statement? Track and field is the most mentally tough sport.
No, it wouldn't. I would say it would be up there. I mean, I definitely think it would be up there as one of them that are. But I can't take nothing away from golf. I think people, sleep on golf in the sense of, like, they think it's an old man sport. But the mentality of a golfer and what they have to do on call on that spot, that's probably, for me, that's probably one of the most mentally tough sports I've ever done. And I think that is possibly the most mentally tough sport there is. It's just, there's other sports that I think you have to have some type of, high cognitive ability to calm yourself to do things like shooting, pistol, those things, that cross-country ski shooting, those things got to calm yourself, hit targets. Those things are mentally exhausting. But something that I would say that's organically continuing as you're going, I think golf is that echelon of sports that is the most mentally taxing from what I think. In the sense of track and field, though, it's one of them. I just don't think it's the one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could talk yourself into running fast, and you can talk yourself into running slow, and we all been there with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. But so, you know, that part is an aspect. So I consider in the echelon of those higher end sports right there, but I don't say it's the one. No.
Are there any questions that you might have for us?
Well, yeah. What y'all ready to go?
Yeah.
Yo.
Okay. I mean, what are y'all expectations for yourselves? I guess that's an important thing. That's what America wants to know, right, America? No.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
You me go first?
Yeah.
Like expectations, like goals?
Yeah.
Definitely school record. If this is my last year, I definitely want to get that school record, go back to nationals, and prove that I'm a top hurdler in this nation. That's what I want to prove, to leave something behind here when it's all then done, have no regrets, you know?
Yep.
And just have fun, stay healthy, and just be prepared to do whatever event I have to do.
Leave here with 2 of them things. Ooh, I put up 3. Leave here with 2 records, but I'm leaving here with something, though. I'm leaving here with something.
All right.
It's going to be either top 3 on that podium at conference or top 3 at national.
Hey, let's go for it.
Because that 200 going down, though. I'm telling you that now.
What about the 4x1 record?
4x1. But you got to be in the lap for that one. It can go down, though, for sure. We could have knocked that down last year off a mistake, though.
I think we got it.
Do you think it's going to go down sooner than later?
I would think it should go down this year. I don't think this team was put together for it to go down this year. It should happen. It's a matter of us executing and just firing. And I think I told Lamont Lane the other day, and I think a couple other throwers were there as well. I told him, I said, when you step into a meet as a senior, you got to step into every meet as a championship meet. You know, you have to. Because everything else, every stimulus that you have prior to that, you already know. You already know what a regular meet feels like. So how do you take yourself mentally, your mental game up, to how your physical game go up? You have to step into a meet thinking it's a national championship and executing like it's a national championship. That's it. That's the only way you're going to get to that level anyway. Once you get there, you're going to have a better feeling, comfort, and understanding of I'm supposed to be here. And it comes around. You know, you depend on that, rely on it. That's how you get faster. And what's crazy is as athletes, we forget that that's what gets us there, period. Like, you have trainings that happen all year that continually take you up a notch. No matter if they get faster or they get longer, they're putting a little bit more on you because you've shown through your progression that you can handle a little bit more. And you're like, oh, since it's a longer progression, you don't realize that is basically the same thing I'm saying. You put yourself in a national championship mindset every time. You know, because if you're in a national championship, you're like, oh, this is on. This is it. This is where I got to perform my best. So what if you take that mentality in practice? What if you take that mentality with your diet? What if you take that mentality in the classroom? You know, that same mentality, sooner than later, it becomes redundant. It becomes a habit. And you progress from that habit. That's it. That's what it is. So have that mindset in there first and foremost is important. You know, and just, so I inner belief, I've told you guys this before, you are enough. Never forget that. You are enough. You know, no matter what you're going through, you are enough. Because that belief in yourself should be so high that no matter if you fall, you are enough to pick yourself up. You're enough to succeed. You are enough to get over whatever hump that is. That's what it is. Facts. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah.
Well, that concludes Hot Seat, and this is the standard.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. All right. Oh, man.